Forgiveness, a beautiful word, a terrifying word. You know you should forgive. But how do you forgive someone who never said sorry? How do you let go of pain that still wakes you up at night? How do you move forward when your heart is still bleeding in reverse? Forgiveness feels impossible. Not because you're weak, but because your hurt is real. Your pain deserves to be heard before you're asked to let go. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It's not pretending it didn't happen. It's not saying it wasn't that bad. And it's definitely not about tolerating abuse in the name of grace. Forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. Reconciliation takes two people. But forgiveness, that begins in you. Not to free them, but to free yourself. Most people think forgiving means giving up power. But the truth is, unforgiveness holds you hostage. It ties your story to the very thing that hurt you. And every time you replay the wound, you bleed all over again. Forgiveness doesn't mean it didn't hurt. It means you're ready for the pain to stop controlling you. It means your future matters more than your past. That's not weakness. That's power. There is no timeline for forgiveness. You're not a bad person if you're not ready yet. Forgiveness isn't a race. It's a process. Some wounds take longer than others, and that's okay. Healing doesn't happen by force. It happens when you feel safe enough to release what no longer serves you. People think forgiveness is the final chapter. But really, it's the first step towards something new. It's the beginning of reclaiming your peace, of choosing not to live in reaction to what was done to you. When you forgive, you're not just closing a door. You're opening one to something more free, more honest, and more alive. Forgiveness doesn't mean you go back to how things were. It means you stop carrying the weight, but you still walk with wisdom. You can forgive someone and still say, I won't allow this again. You can forgive and still leave. Forgiveness is about inner freedom, not outer compliance. Just let it go. You're too sensitive. You need to move on. These words might sound spiritual, but they're actually shortcuts. Forgiveness that's rushed becomes resentment. Real forgiveness requires space. Space to feel, space to grieve, space to grow. You don't rebuild trust with big speeches. You rebuild it in the quiet moments when no one is watching. When you say, I hear you. You make sense. I want to understand better. These are repair tools, not just words. They tell the other person, you're safe with me. Unforgiveness often lives in silence. It's buried under, I'm fine. It's whatever. But your body remembers. Your nervous system stores the unsaid. Healing begins when you stop pretending you're not hurt. You can't heal what you refuse to feel. Sometimes you repair within yourself, even if the relationship doesn't continue. You stop rehearsing the argument. You stop needing them to feel what you felt. Repair means you no longer need the past to explain who you are. You're writing a new story, one not rooted in pain. You can say sorry, but that doesn't mean the other person feels safe yet. Trust isn't automatic. It grows when words and actions align, over time. Don't rush their healing. Don't pressure them to trust before they're ready. Be consistent, be present, be patient. That's what rebuilds broken bridges. The moment you begin to forgive, something softens inside you. Not right away, not all at once, but slowly, the resentment gets quieter. The pain stops writing every sentence. You begin to feel lighter, not because they made it right, but because you stopped carrying what broke you. We often think forgiveness is a gift we give to others. But most of all, it's a gift to yourself. You choose to stop living under the weight of someone else's mistake. You choose to say, "This pain ends with me." That is the beginning of freedom. Healing is not linear. Some days you'll feel strong. Some days you'll feel broken all over again. Forgiveness doesn't mean you never feel pain again. It means you stop punishing yourself for feeling it. Be patient with your process. Be gentle with your heart. You are healing, even on the days it doesn't look like it. Grieving and forgiving can live side by side. You can still miss the good and acknowledge the harm. You can wish things were different and still choose to release them. Grief says, "That mattered." Forgiveness says, "It doesn't have to control me anymore." Forgiveness doesn't always lead to a new relationship. Sometimes it leads to release. You can forgive someone and still choose not to let them back in. That doesn't make you cold. It means you've healed. Forgiveness is about peace, not access. In some relationships, forgiveness does open a door to rebuild, to speak honestly again, to meet each other in a new way. But rebuilding takes more than words. It takes time. It takes changed behavior. It takes mutual care. Forgiveness is the start, not the shortcut. You don't have to forget the past to have a new future. What happened will always be part of your story, but it doesn't have to define the next chapter. You get to decide, will I keep reliving the same moment, or will I grow into something stronger because of it? Forgiveness becomes powerful when both people own their part, not with blame, not with shame, but with humility. Here's how I hurt you. Here's what I didn't understand. Here's what I want to do differently. That's not weakness, that's maturity. That's love growing deeper. The love that comes after forgiveness is quieter. It's slower. It doesn't try to prove itself. It's love with eyes wide open. Love that has bled but still chose to stay. Love that knows pain and still chooses tenderness. Forgiveness is not a finish line. It's the beginning of a different way of living. A life where pain doesn't lead. A life where healing becomes the rhythm. A life where you don't have to carry every scar like it's your identity. You are more than what hurt you. You are becoming someone new. Healing is rarely loud. It doesn't always look heroic. But every time you choose not to repeat the same wound, that's healing. Every time you speak the truth instead of hiding, every time you offer softness instead of silence, you are breaking cycles. You are writing a new story. Thank you for joining me for episode 7. Today we explored what forgiveness truly means, not as weakness, but as power, not as forgetting, but as choosing freedom. In our next episode, we'll talk about shame and intimacy, how unspoken wounds affect closeness, and how to show up without losing yourself. Until then, take a breath. Be kind to your healing. And remember, you don't have to carry what hurt you to become who you're meant to be.